Well, good evening and happy Sunday, and welcome to episode 4 of REV Cucina Sundays. And we're going to dive into a new recipe. And this one is about a 30-minute. Should take you to do. It's a spaghetti alla Sicilla. Basically, it's a spaghetti with broccoli rabe. We have shallots, garlic, calabrese and chili peppers. It's got fresh Roma tomatoes, which are awesome, and the broccoli rabe. It's just a combination, that with the lemon and the modica finish, which is the fried breadcrumbs that I've made in advance. It's just a great sort of a bundle of Sicilian love. And we're going to have that with a griot. And what I decided to do in advance is something like you could do this on a Sunday afternoon or weekday meal. Like I said, it's not going to take too long. I made some crostinis with a basil pistachio pesto with roasted red bell peppers, and I'll drop a recipe in the link. Speaking of that, the full video is going to be on YouTube. I'll drop it in the Facebook feed, and so you could access it there. Look forward to working with you tonight and having fun. We're back. So I started the water for the pasta. I'm going to slice the tomatoes. I've already pre-sliced the shallots, garlic. They're all very thinly sliced. And I've done some of the chili peppers. Now, I'm going to talk to you about those. These are really hot. So this is like for 4 people, right? And so I'm thinking 1 chili pepper per serving is probably enough for most people. If you hang out with a hot crowd, people like it fiery, by all means add more. I wouldn't go too much more, because they are pretty hot. These are fresh Calabrian chili peppers, and I'm going to show you what you need to do. You could do the crushed red pepper, and that works just as well, but they kind of lose that potency. So these here stay pretty hot. I'm going to take 2 out. I've already chopped up 4, but I get these from some market online called Cotamo, and they deliver. It takes about 2-3 days. What you want to do with the chili peppers, I use these little sort of tweezers to hold them down, and you want to take that stem off, and and then kind of slice it lengthways. And what I'm doing here is to get the seeds out, because those seeds are just killer. And you could leave them in, but I'm telling you, better person than I am. They are pretty hot, and you just got to kind of clean them up that way. And like I said, 4, 5 in a serving for 4, that's a lot. That's a lot of heat. So I'm going to put the rest of the stuff together. I'm going to slice the tomatoes, the beautiful Roma tomatoes. I'll show you how to do those. And then I'm going to try this crostini that I made with the basil pesto pistachio. What I've done here, I put some locatelli cheese on top with a roasted red bell pepper and put it in the oven for a little bit. But I'm telling you, it looks and tastes great. I think I've gained about 15 pounds since I started cooking, so go some my fast. But anyway, that stuff's awesome. I'll drop a recipe for that in the book as well. And we're back. All right, so I'm going to put about a third of a cup of olive oil in the pan. Let that heat up a little bit on a medium heat. And we're going to first let that get a little bit hot. I'm using this made in saucier, kind of one pot fits all, kind of like it. We're going to do the shallots first. And they're about, like I said, I pre-did those. And love the smell right off the bat. We're going to do these until they get translucent, probably about a minute and a half. And just keep them moving. You don't want anything to stick. That smell right off the bat is great. Let them go, and then you're going to throw the garlic in next. So let's get this cooking here. Well, I hope everybody's had a great weekend. I took a fall at work. I don't know. Work was so hard. I was walking. I got these stupid Hoka sneakers. I don't know. They're kind of cushy. And it's the second pair I got. The first pair, they were really high, and I felt like I was losing my balance. And my daughter was filming me when we were in Central Market. She said I was walking like a crab because it was just weird. So I took, they were gracious enough. I brought them back and got the lower model, but they're still thick and just feel real spongy and unstable. And I don't know, yesterday I was kind of busy and I just tripped on my own damn feet and almost like an idiopathic fall, went flying, hit my noggin on the floor at work, got a little cut like I've been in a barroom fight. It's crazy. But anyway, everything's cool. Little brain fog for about an hour. But let this saute and then we'll come back and put the garlic. And we're back. Before I start adding any more ingredients, I want to show you how to easily do tomatoes. These are Roma tomatoes. They're really nice and fresh, similar to Maranzano Roma. So kind of just put them like up flat, which are your hand over them, get your knife, and you're going to slice, don't move the knife, just go right down the middle. You're slicing kind of to making like little slices out of them. You don't have to chop these. I wouldn't chop them. I like them long and they'll kind of cook out. And that's what you do. I'm going to use about a pound. So I'm going to cut these a little bit and then we'll start building the sauce some more. Okay, and we're back. I'll also show you a trick on the tomatoes. I should have showed you earlier. So any lids, I've got like 2 lids that go on top of little prep bowls. Turn them with the lid side down. Put tomatoes in there. Then take another lid and put it over the top. And then you just basically have a lid sandwich and you just cut right down the middle. So this way, you're kind of a lot more protected. You're not going to cut yourself. And that's another way of doing it. It's 6 or 1/2 dozen. The other just depends how comfortable you are with it. We're back. All right, so now the shallots are done, and I'm going to add the garlic in. Now the garlic, I don't have to go too long. And then this is sliced thin. 6 cloves. For me, that's 8. So this is a heavily garlicky sort of parsley. And you'll like garlic, you'll love this. Now it's sliced thin, so it'll kind of, some of it'll sort of melt down. It just keep tossing it. You want to let it go for, I don't know, 40 seconds or so. You don't want to get it to brown. Then you're going to keep building the sauce. And what I've saved here, if you can see it, sometimes you use the pasta water, but I've also saved some of the water that I did the broccoli rabe. That's got a really nice taste to it. So this broccoli rabe is kind of bitter, and it's going to be offset by the brininess of the botaga, which is a dried fish roe. And I'll show you when we get to that stage how to do that. You're just basically shaving it on the top of the pasta. It's not in the cooking, it's in the finishing. And then the lemon will balance out that bitterness of the broccoli rabe. Some people like it bitter. I don't mind it at all, but some people don't. So the lemon helps. All right, let's let that cook a little bit more, and then we'll start building the sauce. We're back. So now I'm going to add the broccoli rabe to the garlic and shallot. It's nice and done, nothing burned. The broccoli rabe, I blanched it, and then I kind of dumped it in some ice water so it stopped cooking, blanching, just as long as it turns green. And then, I kept it in a Tupperware in the fridge, and now I just chopped it up. You're throwing that in there. Yeah. Toss that around. Now this here is, again, a couple of minutes. You kind of toss it so it gets coated with the olive oil and the garlic and the shallots. Ooh, that smells really good already. Next we're going to put the chili peppers in, and then we're going to do some white wine to glaze it, and then put the tomatoes in. So it's a pretty quick dish. Like I said, if you prepare ahead of time, you could do this in 20 minutes during the weekday. Nice little pasta deal, have with maybe some scampi or something like that, or just a nice Sunday afternoon with, like I said, with crostinis, wine. That's looking really good. Let that simmer a little bit. Be right back. And we're back. Now I'm going to add the chili peppers. Like I said, I've got probably 5 or 6. Pretty spicy. You don't want to kind of cook those. You just want to kind of get them a little warm. And they'll continue to cook in there. But it'll add some heat. We're going to do this for about another minute or so. And then we'll add white wine. We'll actually add the wine we're drinking. It's a nice Sicilian Griot. It's on the dry side, a little pear mineral taste to it. Not bad. And that'll be nice in this dish. We'll add some of that and some of the pasta water or the broccoli rabe water. All right. And we're back. So wine, quarter cup, whatever. I don't know what that is. Maybe 2-3 tablespoons. Just a little bit. It's nice and saucy. Ooh, that smells good. And then we're going to add the tomatoes. And those probably take the longest. You don't want to overdo them, but it'll take a couple of minutes. We'll get that wine to cook out a little bit, and then we'll come back. And we're back. So this is just about done. Now we're going to add the tomatoes, and they go for a couple of minutes. And keep stirring. And then that's it, man. Then the rest is just putting it together with, finishing touches. It's after you put it in the bowl, then you add all the prosciutto you drape on top. You do the basil leaves torn, not chopped, and all the other sort of condiments on top. But we're going to let this simmer out, and I'm going to start adding the tomatoes. I've got, like I said, probably about a pound of the Roma tomatoes, and I've kind of sliced them in half. If you like them chopped, you could do that. I like them long like this. These are so sweet too. I've had a couple. Use that little trick with the lids. It gets nice and even cut, and you don't cut your fingers. So I've got those in there. Make a little salt. I already peppered that. And then toss that for a couple of minutes. And then pasta water is almost done. Then what you're going to do is toss the pasta in there. I don't know if you can see that. Look how pretty that is. And it smells great. All right. It's nice out. I can hear it thunder a little bit. This is about a 3 glass of wine meal here. And we're back. All right, so this is done. Just about. I'm going to toss the pasta in the water. Again, I'm going with that Filotea box pasta. It comes in like these great little sleeves of 2 servings. So this is what, 5 ounces. That's plenty enough. And then once that cooks, we're ready to rock and roll. I'll toss it all together and show you how to finish it off. And we're back. Okay, so about this pasta. So I've taken it off the heat while the pasta's still cooking. I mean, the sauce. You don't want to overcook the tomatoes. You want them to get these so they release, but not kind of break apart. And you can see that right now they're perfect. They're soft. They've released all their juices, but they're not falling apart. So that's perfect how you want it. You just got to kind of watch that pretty carefully. And they'll stay warm. You take it off the heat, let it sit here. Once the pasta's in, we'll toss it. We'll zest, tear the basil, and then we'll plate it. And I think you'll love it. And we're back. So now I'm going to take the pasta, my new nifty little pasta thing that my friend Kaylin got me. He sent me a nice box of like kitchen gadgets. I guess was watching it. So thanks if you're watching again. This was great. And kind of put the pasta in there. Look at that. Yep. Last week I was talking about the al dente, making fun of my daughter. I think she was going to kill me at work. She thought it was funny though, at least. Okay, so that's in there. And give that a little toss. This is pretty juicy. I don't know that I want to add too much more. We could add a little of the pasta water, but it's up to you. Depends how you like it. You do want to kind of toss it around and get everything sort of mixed nice. It's looking good. You can see that. It smells good. Might add a little bit of the water from the splash from the broccoli rabe. Oh, all right, that looks great. Now I'm gonna zest the lemon in there, and then some lemon juice. You know, I told you about some people are snobs about how they do this. It really matters. I'm going to use the whole lemon here, and then I'll toss that again, and then we'll add some lemon juice, and that'll be pretty much it. Yeah, you don't want to do that with those sort of fancy pots that have the enamel, but this pot seems to be a workhorse, so you could do it. Anyway, that's about that. Let me finish that up, and we're back. So I've got the lemon in there, and now I'm just tearing some basil, you know, just by hand. Don't cut it. We'll keep its flavor. It's about a lot of basil, actually. Probably I'm going to use a cup, half a cup maybe. Depends upon much basil. This is the perfume. It'll add, kind of take away from the bitterness of the broccoli rabe. You can always add some to your individual bowls, but this is going in the big bowl. I think that's enough. Let me toss that. Oh, it smells so awesome. This just really smells great. All right, then we're gonna plate it, and I'll show you how to finish it up with the prosciutto and the buttaga. And we're back. All right, so I've got it in a plate. You can see that. It's really pretty. So what we're gonna do is just take, I've got about a quarter pound of really thinly sliced De Palma prosciutto. Just sort of drape it over. For each, you know, for serving 4, each person can get 2 or 3 pieces of Parmesan. It's just kind of drape it. And then we're doing the buttaga, which is this dried sort of fish roll. It's really salty taste, but it's great. So you just sort of grate that over the top, like you did with the cheese. Oh yeah. And it's got a great taste to it. And sprinkle some, you know, finishing olive oil on there. And now I'm going to add the fried breadcrumbs, just a little bit. Oh. And lastly, we're going to do a dollop of ricotta. You could do ricotta salad and grate it, grate cheese, but just a nice little dollop of that right in the middle. And a little pepper. Oh. And that is ready to go. I'm going to give that a taste. Look how pretty that is. That cheese will melt in there. And I'll take a picture of it, post it. I want to get a little bit of everything here first. Oh man, that's really good. It's not too spicy. Oh, I enjoyed making this with you. I'll drop a link to the recipes, but I hope you had fun. This is great. I'm going to sit down, have a glass of wine, and eat this. And you all have a great Sunday evening and a great week ahead. Buon appetito.